Wow, my brothers, welcome to the frat house. We back. We got a special guest with us this time. From Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, we have somebody special to me, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself and give her story. But it's Tori Mills, y'all. We're gonna talk about the D9. We're gonna talk about her organization, our organization, and this presidential election that we just had. Coming right back with the Frat House 555. Olay. We back. And we gonna hop right into because we got a lot to cover, all right, y'all. So Tori Mills, history. Me and your pops, best friends, my big brother, grew up across the street. Your grandmother was part of my life growing up. Man, just all kind of stuff. Then Rod tells me one day that you pledging an organization and you doing your thing. And then I see you at AGP and you know we graduate. Just go ahead and give us the rundown, man, because it's kind of surreal for me too. So just let me know what's going on. What's going on in Tori's life?
All right. Well, like you said, you know me from family history. Born and raised in San Francisco, California, but I moved to Southern California to go to UC Riverside. So yeah, that's where I crossed. Spring 17, the Captivating Kappa Theta chapter.
I hear you. Congrats. And when did you graduate? I know that just happened too.
Yeah, I just graduated. I'm trying to think because I went to school back to back. I graduated undergrad in 2019, and then I just got my master's in education for 2020.
Oh man, congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Congrats. That's what's up though. That's what's up. I just got my master's, so I know you I know your pain. I know your pain.
Yeah, glad to be done.
Yeah, shout out to both of y'all. Extended education. So you never told me this, and I gotta find out. What was your name online? What did they call you?
Oh, my line name is Vanity Club.
Vanity Club.
Okay,
Okay.
Vanity
but
Club.
I'm talking about before you was official. What was they
Oh,
calling you online? Like mine was Droopy, like the dog Droopy, and it just stuck.
that name we. Mm. Oh,
All right. Never mind. I can dig it. I can dig it. All right. So, why AKA?
why AKA? Okay, so honestly, if you know that my grandma is a Delta. My grandma on my mom's side, she's the member of Delta Sigma Theta. Um, honestly, I didn't have any experience with AK until I got to UC Riverside. All I knew was Delta. I met definitely met some Iotas, the Bay Iotas, when I was in high school. So I always knew that I wanted to join a Black sorority. When I got to campus, my chapter wasn't there at the time. Um, but I was doing my research. Everyone said, do your research, make sure you're joining the right organization. So I started checking out all of the different web pages. And once I once I took a look at the AKA website, that's kind of when I was like, yeah, this is the one for me. But what really set it in stone was just continuing to see who the members were. And it just happens to be that all the when I was doing my research, all of the women that I looked up to in middle school, high school, just learning about, all the prominent African American women in history, they were all members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I looked at that and I was like, that's the type of woman that I want to be. I feel like that's the direction that I'm going in. I feel like I'm a leader. I'm strong. I feel like if you go back to my campus, people know my name. You go back to my high school, people know my name. And I feel like that's all those women, that's what they were. So that's why I was like, yeah, this is the one for sure, for sure. So pissed my grandma off, but
I was gonna ask about that. How grandma feel about that? I mean, you walking in with the pink and green, and she's like,
she was really upset. I called her She was confused. I was like, "Hey, I got something to tell you," and she was like,
Uh-oh.
"Delta, right?" And I was like, um, so yeah, that was yeah. She's over it now.
Yeah, I met your grandma a couple times
Mhm.
at a fat house in San Francisco. I remember that.
Yeah.
But what I remember, she's a strong woman. So I don't know if she didn't take that too lightly. I'm pretty sure y'all had a nice conversation.
No, yeah, she didn't. But her little sister is actually at SG Row, so I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
so kind of yeah.
So basically, you have both of them looking at you like, Understood. Understood. So you said something prevalent, which I kind of want to kind of dive deeper in. You said after you did your research, you looked at your chapter as well. Um, do you think that you would have been an AKA regardless of the type of women that was in your chapter, or you think the women in your chapter would really push you towards being an AKA?
Um, Honestly, I feel like I probably would have chose AKA either way. But definitely I feel like my chapter was, like I said, my chapter wasn't on the yard at the time. But definitely I did look into the chapter history and looked into the different programs and stuff that they were doing. And by far, they were the ones really putting work in on campus. And I feel like still to this day, my chapter is the one putting in work on campus. And that's something that I really looked at too. Um, just because I don't know, that's something that was important to me. I feel like there's a lot of people who join for the wrong reasons. They want to step and stroll and party and wear the colors, and that's not what I was about. So, yeah.
So what was your big thing? What was the thing that, like, was it, I guess, the community service or just doing things on campus in general? Um, what was it?
I would say doing things in general. I know a lot of people really like to focus on community service. And my chapter, we do a lot of community service, but we also do just a lot of empowerment events and educational events. And I feel like that's when I say work or service, I include that into it too. So things like mental health events. My chapter, we do a Maya Angelou event every year, and we collaborate with the care center. So it's basically about like healing, and it's an event for survivors of sexual assault and different types of violence. So that's kind of like an all-in-one type of thing. So just that, just like being a positive role model on campus, and I don't know, just like really using the name to make a difference.
Mm,
That's what we're supposed to do.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I mean, so what was campus life like as an undergrad? Um, I mean, was it? I mean, I can imagine. I mean, pre-corona, you have the opportunity to kind of just be out there and kind of doing your own thing on campus. But for you, as once you cross, and you got a chance to rep your letters, did campus feel different to you? Like, I guess, well, how you interacted with everyone else.
Um, I would say kind of, but kind of not really. I feel like I was always kind of out there as a person. Um, so I went to UC Riverside, which is not a historically Black college at all. I think at the moment we're like 4% Black. So we're a really small, tight knit community at UC Riverside. And I was already like really active in the community. We have African student programs. I worked at the front desk. So everyone kind of already knew who I was. So once I joined, it wasn't like, I know some people get the experience of like, oh, now everybody knows who you are, everybody knows your name, people are looking at you. I kind of already had that, so that didn't change much. Um, Maybe my experience would have been different. I think, yeah, it definitely would have been different if I was at a school in the South or at a school with a bigger Black population.
What was the atmosphere like? Because I know you do have to be like part of a tight knit community because it's just you, but the pool that you
Mhm.
pull from as far as other African Americans is small compared to the white organization. So how was that? When that time came, it's cool when we got to go do something as the big D9, but now we all got to pull from 20 girls only, because only 20 Black girls on the campus that's not already in it, or you know what I mean? How was that?
It's definitely hard, honestly. There's definitely, I feel like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of tension because of that. But at the end of the day, people are going to choose the orgs that are right from them, and that org is going to, choose if they want that person. Um, I would say our chapters are definitely on the smaller side, which makes things really difficult. Just because of like the retention. It's like we'll have a line and then everyone will graduate and you're kind of like back to a chapter of one or two people. And that's exhausting, honestly. That's another thing that I feel like if I was at a HBCU, it would have been a different experience because here at UC Riverside, most of the time you're a chapter, you're an officer. If you all are going to perform in the yard show, you're on a step team. You also have your social life for tabling. If you have a chapter of four people, who's going to be there at the table? Like it's exhausting because of that. I would say that's the one thing.
Well, understand as IOTAs, we definitely know what that's like.
Hmm.
We have small numbers and we're used to it. But there's a very different dynamic on this call right now. I just thought about this.
Hmm.
All three of us come from PWIs.
Facts. Yeah.
Now, the difference though between ours in California and yours,
I
even
knew you
being
were
a
gonna say that.
PWI, y'all school is damn near a black HBCU.
Damn near.
University of West Georgia. Tori, you would have loved it up there. It's like the best of both worlds. And it's in the cut.
It's in the cut. Yeah, West Georgia's in the cut. I mean, is West Georgia's one of those schools where it's like we're like an hour away from Atlanta, right? So we got the opportunity to party on our own on like Thursdays, and then Fridays and Saturdays we out partying with the city, because we'll go home and whatnot. So yeah, we got the best of both worlds. But again, it was a PWI, still a PWI. I think when I first went there, when I first started going there, I think the population was about like 15%. We had just became a university. We went from being a state university to being a university. And it was, for me, it wasn't that big of a big difference because I came from a white school, right? I went to Shiloh High School out there, Snellville, go Generals, whatever, you know what I mean? But I know with a lot of other people who I talk to, they've never seen that many white people, especially people coming from Decatur, Lithonia. This is mostly the black areas of Atlanta. Going out there was like a culture shock for them. So to adjust to that was different. So, but yeah, West Georgia's in the cut. I mean, no, if you go out there, you party, and then you forget. You tell everybody to forget that you partied out there because you don't want nobody to know what you did. It was one of them. It was one of them things. But definitely, we did our thing out there, and we definitely held it down. So shout out to D. You know what I mean? Y'all know who y'all are. The Epsilon Xi Chapel, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It woke me up to it was like one of my first experiences besides everybody when they first move out here they go to the AU center and you see all the historic schools, but West Georgia that was dope because it was out there. Y'all had a house. I mean, it was the real college life experience,
Yeah.
but you wasn't like in Ruston, Louisiana, you know what I mean, or out there. It ain't that far. You
It
know what
ain't
I mean?
that far. I mean, we still had our bouts of racism. You know what I mean? The
It's
little
still
bit. The hicks still get to us at us every once in a while, especially when President Obama won his first presidency. It was kind of crazy out there. So and which leads me to my next question with you and your organization and the vice president elect Kamala Harris. Shout out to Kamala Harris, the vice president elect Kamala Harris, for taking this presidency by storm, and running with her running mate Joe Biden. Like, how was your organization involved in helping her push her agenda and getting into that seat?
Well, I would say not necessarily pushing her as a candidate, but just pushing voting and being informed for this election in general. AKA did a lot. I think all the organizations did a lot from what I could see. I feel like this year was definitely very discouraging. I feel like a lot of people were ready to kind of just give up on the election. at least that's what I got from my social group. At least in like January, February, people were like, either Trump's gonna win again, or the other candidate's not going to be any better. So people were just not voting. So I feel like that push to get people out there, get people registered is definitely what made the difference this election.
Most definitely. Was it? So I'm guessing your chapter started pushing early, like you said, early January and February, as far as trying to get people to vote. Do you know off the top of your hand, like how many people you were able to get registered?
I don't have an exact number for that. Yeah. I don't have an exact number. Yeah.
That's all good. It's all good.
That's not, I wouldn't say that's something new that my chapter or any of the chapters on my undergraduate campus did. I would say all the orgs on my campus are pretty good at trying to get people to register every single year, or at least every election year. But I think this year, I think a lot of people were already registered, but just pushing people to actually get out there and vote, or actually turn in their mail-in ballots. Because I know a lot of people who were registered were kind of like, no, like I'm not.
So,
I feel that.
so would it be safe to say that the D9 as a whole had a huge influence on this election, as far as getting out and getting people to register, and
Yeah,
maybe.
I would say so. I would say the D9 definitely had a good part in it. I don't know if I want to give all the credit to the D9 necessarily. I feel like, honestly, after the Black Lives Matter movement, after that got really big and people just started to become more fed up with certain situations, I think that's really what pushed all Black people, not all, but a good amount of Black people. I would say the D9 definitely has more resources and organization to make that push more like a formal push. But I would say it was definitely like a collective thing. I think people were just kind of fed up, really.
Well, let's flip the scenario. Hypothetically, do you think the D9 should have been more involved, like the Black Lives Matter movement, been more aggressive about it before finding out that one of their own was going to be in the run? Do you think maybe we, you know, kind of
I
shallow on that?
I definitely think so. I don't want to say that people weren't involved, but I don't I don't think people were involved and representing their organizations at the same time. And I don't know if people were afraid to do that because of, I think a lot of the movements got kind of like a bad rep with the media. And I think people were afraid of their organization being tied to that.
Okay.
Um, I think I think there was definitely a lot of people who were just kind of like afraid for themselves and didn't want to put themselves out there in certain situations. But I definitely do think the D9 should have had more of a united um, involvement in the Black Lives Matter. Definitely,
Yeah, we
like a
talked about that
visible,
as well.
like we are out here as AKA. Yeah, because I feel like definitely like all the like the pictures and stuff I've seen, like that presence was not felt.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, most definitely. I mean, I even I questioned some of our bros that went out to protest. Like, you know, if we're gonna protest, let's protest with a purpose, not just go out there and raise fists and and say we don't like this, but then you go back home and nothing really changes. That was my biggest thing. I really wish we would have did more. Um, Not just as IOTAs, but as a D9 in general, to be able to go out there and try to do something that was a little bit more long lasting. I mean, because as Black people, we make up 1.3 trillion dollars of the. We spend 1.3 trillion dollars a year, and that's more than Russia's gross national product. So it's like we got power. We just don't use it collectively, and it would have been great. I think this would have been the time that, as anyone who was a part of a D9 organization, if we'd have came together and said, "Hey, we're not going to stand for X, Y, and Z," I think we could have really pushed to really get more out of this movement. But hey, we still got opportunities, we still got time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Tori?
Yeah, I was gonna kind of say the same thing about. I feel like D9 should have made more of an effort to educate people on um I don't know, just maybe just politics in general. I know in California we have the propositions. I'm not really sure. You guys are in Georgia, right?
Yeah, we're in
Mm-hmm.
Georgia.
Okay, I'm not sure if you guys do propositions like we do. But one thing that was on the ballot that didn't pass that was interesting to me was bringing affirmative action back. So we did have that in California. They took it away. And I'm not too sure what the numbers of like all minority groups are as far as like college and just to like kind of backtrack, affirmative action basically allowed schools and businesses to look at race and ethnicity. And it's supposed to be to like improve those numbers. And I know at UC Riverside, I think the minority numbers are like pretty stable, but what we've seen is the Black population numbers have been dropping. So like everybody else numbers are good, but um, I think like 10, 20 years ago, the population was definitely in double digits and now it's 3%. So I was definitely in favor of that. And a lot of the conversations I was having with other people, they were in favor of it too. But I don't think people really understood what it was when it was on the ballot because the words were, even when I was reading it, I was like, this sounds kind of sus. So I think we
Right.
would have did more education on what those propositions were. Or even like what is a Senate seat? Like what are we voting on? What are we really voting on? We should have definitely pushed that education more.
And that's a nationwide problem too. It's not just in California as far as like the numbers of African Americans dropping who attend colleges now. I mean, there are schools in Illinois that were predominantly black, which now are less than 3%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. It's like that everywhere. And you're right. If I believe if people would have known about that, if that that would have been pushed or talked about, like the presidential election was talked about. You know what I mean? Just giving that kind of platform, people would have been able to get educated on, or at least find out more about it. But nobody. That's the first time even hearing about it. And we're in Georgia. It's historically a red state, so there was nothing like that going down out here
Not at
at
all.
all.
Yeah, we didn't get that opportunity to hear about any of that. I mean, to be honest with you, the only reason why Georgia flipped was because of Stacey Abrams and all the work that she had been putting in. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that when she ran for her gubernatorial race 2 years ago and she lost, right? She took 2 weeks off and she just mourned. Like she did I think it's called a Jewish mourning. I can't remember what the name of the actual mourning. I actually look it up and hopefully Bless will put it at the bottom of the screen. But she mourned for like 2 weeks about that loss because she put so much work in it. And then as soon as them 2 weeks was up, dried her tears, and she said she got back to work. And granted, she didn't get the gubernatorial spot, but I mean, our governor right now is feeling that heat.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, his approval ratings as far as what I last saw like a couple of days ago was at like disapproval of like 47%, which is like the worst of any Georgia governor, I think in the last 60 years. So it's like, I do believe that, granted of what's going on in California, as far as like how the numbers are dropping as far as people going to schools there, and and unfortunate of the affirmative action. I do believe here in Georgia that there's a lot of education being pushed about why the Senate seat was necessary, why the gubernatorial seat is necessary, why House Congress in their seat is necessary, why all of these things are needed, and why the education is needed. And I think that's what really helped us flip our state. So it's crazy, but I mean it's
That
necessary. I think the education is needed. So
Yeah.
that and the fact that you guys are raised around legends, people who have been fighting this. this war for equality since the beginning. Folks who have walked with MLK, were speaking at y'all high schools. We didn't get that on the in California. That experience in itself is tremendous and in developing the young black mind to where they turn into the killer Mikes and the goody mobs and all that, because
Yeah.
that's where they're coming from, and you
No,
see
that's
what they're
real
doing
facts.
now.
That's real facts. But Tori, I do got a question. Like, what with this presidential election and with everything that's going down, has personally for you, right? What do you expect from the Biden Harris campaign to do, say for Black folks? Just be frank. What do you think that you would want them to do to hold dear to you, to be able to make sure they follow through on?
Um, I not to say that I don't want to hold them accountable, but me personally, I feel like the entire system is built against Black people. That's just my take on it. Um, and I feel like people see, figures like Obama. Now we have Kamala, and we expect them to kind of be like our saviors or to make all these different um to find all these different solutions for us. And I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I feel like a lot of the stuff needs to happen at the local level first, um, and then kind of make its way up. I'm not saying that we shouldn't hold them accountable. I definitely think there are some things that um, the Biden administration definitely needs to do. And I think they need to be meeting with different people. I'm not going to say exactly who they should be meeting with, because I know there's a controversy with some people think, Black Lives Matter should be the organization that's speaking for everyone. Some people don't think that's the organization that should speak for everyone. But I definitely think we need to put a lot more pressure on our local politicians.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah.
How much traction is Ice Cube getting out there in Southern Cal with his contract for Black America?
Oh, people are upset with Ice Cube.
Oh,
So,
People,
okay.
oh,
I,
that's
I I'm not really too sure what Ice Cube's goal was. I think it's the timing, and I feel like he was being used by Trump. Like with the time, his intent might have been, he might have positive intent with it, but it was just, yeah, it's bad timing. Like he shouldn't, right before the election, you want to work with Trump and, push all these different things. Yeah. If it was at a different time, I would have been on board with it. But to me, it was just like, bro, like that's how I feel about it. And I know a lot of people in California feel the same way. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I mean, I get it though, because he did come in at a very, very weird time with his whole list of things he wanted, a list of demands. Which I'm all for a list of demands, right, from any administration. But like you said, like I think Ice Cube might have made him
Yeah,
something.
I just find that odd. Well, I shouldn't say odd. I think it is odd that Cali wouldn't ride with him. But yeah, that's a topic for another show. We may bring you back to it when we dive off into that. I know Boyce Watkins is doing several interviews with Cube, just talking about it, trying to get the truth out. You know what I mean? So, but anyway,
I feel if it would have came at a different time, I maybe would have been more on board. But like, I don't know if y'all follow Kim Kardashian. I know she's not the idol person, but I feel like she's been making a lot of moves behind the scene with the different things that she's doing with the court system. And to me, it seems like she's been doing that for a minute. And I guess her logic or her reasoning is that she has Black kids now, so she understands a little bit, and she
no,
wants
I
to.
know what you mean. She is.
Yeah,
She's getting people out of jail. She's doing
yeah,
some things.
So I see she's been doing that. It hasn't, it's not like a new, like, in the midst of, the election type thing. So that's kind of where I'm looking at Ice Cube, like, if you were really doing something, I would have been heard about this. But
Gotcha.
yeah. It was definitely bad time on this part, and I mean, I'm happy that Kim Kardashian has done something, right? Because God knows that a lot of things that she has done in the past. I mean, I don't hold her to it, but you know, it really wasn't helping us out. But I, you know, got to give her props on that part of what she did and getting a lot of people out of jail, giving them their clemency and some people getting pardoned. So, I mean, can't.
Yeah. I'm hoping Kanye's in the background pulling some strings and making that happen.
Yeah.
I gotta give him some, it's, yeah, Kanye.
Give you that one. I can't give you that one. No, bro. Because I looked at, I said it when he decided to run, right? He decided he was going to run. I said, Kanye, you out here trying to get these streaming sales. I see you, bro. I'm mad at you for getting these streaming sales, but I'm mad at you for getting these streaming sales because you know what you're doing, man. Don't do this, man. And hey, man, when the brother started breaking down on his campaign speech, I was like, all right, I gotta let this one go because I was kind of looking at Kanye like, all right, Kanye, let's see what you have to say, and then that whole thing went down, and then he said what he said. He said something about was it something about Harriet Tubman only not really freeing slaves or something like that, and somebody had a whole video up, and she was like, "Up, not really." And I was like, "Yep, that's me. I'm out. Can't do."
Had a lot of questionable things.
But his wife's a soldier. I don't care what nobody says. She's proven her worth to me.
Yeah, she just needs to get him on board.
Yeah. All right. On a lighter note, because they get enough money as it is.
Facts. Big.
What you know about Iota Phi Theta? You mentioned it earlier that you had some little history of us, or you've seen us before in the Bay. But what was Southern Cal like?
Should I start with the Bay or should I start
wherever you want? We got time.
I'll start with the Bay. So that high school, there was Iota that worked in the counseling department. So he brought out one of the chapters, actually a few of the chapters to step at my BSU performances. I think they did it a couple times, at least while I was still a student there. So that was huh?
Who was the counselor? What was his name?
I can't pronounce his name because we call him K, but Kakishide.
He's what?
Kashi's today. I don't know how to pronounce this man's name. We called him Mr. K because we couldn't pronounce his name.
I got you.
Yeah. Shout out to that, bro. Pretty sure he'll see this. And reach back out to us, bro. We want to give you your props, man.
I'll get the info. I'll make sure.
Facts.
Yeah, so definitely, shout out to them. They were, that was definitely like a great experience. That was my first encounter with them. I didn't even know you were Iota until, had no idea.
No, you found out like right before you started, I think.
Yeah. So that was my first encounter with them. Cool dudes. And UCR, Theta Gamma chapter. Shout out to UR. I saw Jahar was on the page, so he'll probably see this. Cool dudes. I would say that definitely. At least the chapter on my yard definitely put some work. We've had at least I think one event with them. I know you guys have the Feed the Homeless event. A few other service events. So definitely cool dudes. I don't have anything bad to say about the IOTIS.
That's what it is.
That's what it should be. So for real, that's what it should be. Everybody, I mean, in the South, I mean, we're scarce in the South. I'll put it like this: we're scarce in the South, just because. I mean, we're everywhere, but then a lot of bros usually are working or whatnot. So then, when it comes down to us being out and about, like, and people see us, they be like, "Oh man, that's an Iota." Like, "Oh man, let me get a picture." Right? And then they be like, "What school are you from?" And we tell them what school, and you're like, "Oh, y'all been here?" It's like, "Yeah, we've been here." And then they're like, "Oh," and then when you do hear people that say they know about us, they be like, "Oh, they got nothing bad to say about us." Like, we work. That's all we do.
Yeah, I think people just don't know. Like in Southern California, we only have one chapter, the chapter that's on my yard, and every other org has like, I'm not gonna speak for every other, but I would say at least 10 chapters in the Southern California area.
Right.
So that's kind of a comparison.
We not at Long Beach or what was that other one? Dominguez Hills. We ain't up there no more. Oh, those school. Oh,
No,
damn. I moved to Atlanta in 2005. So before I thought man, we used to be deep down there.
Yeah.
That's
In
so
NorCal,
interesting.
the Bay Iotas.
Oh
no,
yeah, we up there, San Jose, Sac.
that's who I met. I met all them brothers up there when we did the Sprite step off. Um, well, me and my chapter brothers, we went out. Shout out to Mark Price, D Iota. We went out there to went out to San Francisco, and we did the whole Sprite step off. And it was a gang of brothers out there just chilling.
That's home.
Yeah, it was just like that was cool. And for you to say there's only one chapter out there and they're on your campus, like
Well, they're on multiple campuses, but all the same chapter. Yeah.
got you. I get you. I get you. Yeah, that's something we got to work on. That's definitely something we're gonna definitely work on.
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah, post Corona, golly. How did Corona hit y'all? Like, what did it do to y'all? Like,
Honestly, there is okay. So right now I'm a general member. I'm not a part of a chapter. I'm still in the process of moving. I just graduated. I'm living in Riverside, but I teach in NorCal now. So yeah, so my life is yeah,
Oh, you teaching in Northern California?
yeah. Well, in Monterey, so kind of
Oh,
Northern California.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't that's you. Yeah, I got you. Northern from where you at now.
So I plan on joining a grad chapter once I, get a little bit more settled. But I think, yeah, people are just kind of like over the year. I think people made more of an effort to do the virtual thing when the whole situation first happened. But I think people are just kind of over it right now. There's not too much that we can do. Um,
no, that's real.
We hope in 2021 won't be like this shit.
Yeah, for real. So you say you teach. What grade do you teach?
I teach eighth grade, and then I teach a leadership elective, so I have sixth, seventh, and eighth for that class.
How is it with eighth graders? Like, how is it teaching them?
They
Is
don't
it
turn their
difficult?
cameras
Huh?
on. They don't turn their cameras on. We're all on Zoom, but it's like I'm teaching to a bunch of like screens. There's like one or two kids that don't turn their cameras on.
Dang.
I can believe it. Nah, I only say that because my kids they're on the virtual thing too, and they're young, like 10, 8, and 6, and they're like hating it right now. So I can only imagine.
Everybody hates it. Nobody really wants to do it. Yeah.
How you keep them interested? I
We
mean, that's
try.
got to be a challenge.
No, it definitely it's hard to keep kids interested in the classroom. So on the computer, there's certain things where we can like monitor what they're looking at. So if they're like on YouTube and they're not supposed to be, we can be like, hey, like get off of YouTube. We can we can close the tabs out if we want to.
Okay.
And we try to do like check-ins, like more things to like make sure they're actually, they're following along with us. But I'm not even gonna lie, there's a lot of kids who are just checked out. Like they'll turn on the computer, they'll walk away, they'll be asleep. There's one girl, she's an amazing student, but she has trouble waking up and being on a computer. And she'll have her camera on and she's been asleep a few times. Like they're in class in her bed asleep. So it's not a good environment for most students. Yeah.
Not for learning.
Yeah. Is there any I mean, I know y'all going through a lockdown right now, but have they told y'all anything about opening back up?
They
No.
don't know.
Dang.
There's a vaccine now, but I don't know. Every time I look at the news or anything, now they're talking about there's a second strain of corona in Japan. And so I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just going, when I go outside, I see where I can go, where I can't. Besides that, I don't really know what's going on. It's too much.
Mask up. That's
Right.
about it.
Are you gonna take the vaccine?
I have a feeling that they're gonna try to force teachers to. But I don't know. I need at least 6 months to see what's gonna happen to these people because I really need more time than that. But if they're gonna force us, I'm for sure not taking it for a year. I need to see how many people fall off.
Yeah, that's true.
You start looking at teaching at private institutions, forget that. I mean, we trying not to take that at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
nah. I'll tell you right now, the entire state is gonna be behind not taking the vaccine because I mean, yeah, we may be blue on paper, but we still red in our heart.
Yeah.
That ain't finna go down in Georgia, so you know.
I don't like the way they're pushing it either. Like I seen on the TV a commercial for the vaccine, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I've never really seen them, push stuff like that. And the way they're pushing, like, a black woman who was behind the creation. I'm like, y'all, we know what y'all trying to do.
Exactly. You already know. I mean, I'll be real with you. Like they sent out a newsletter. I'm a veteran, right? I was in the Navy, so uh, they sent out a newsletter at the beginning of November and was like, you're doing test trials for the vaccine, and if you want to be a part of the test trials, you can call this number. I was like, delete. Nah, I'm not doing that. Like that sounded too much like the Tuskegee experiments, and I'm like, I ain't trying to be nobody's guinea pig. I'm good on that.
It's funny who they send those out to because I didn't get any requests like that, but I do follow a few people who go to HBCUs, and they were saying that they were reaching out to the HBCUs to do vaccine testing. Yeah. So
yeah. They hit my cousin. He's a retired military. He's a veteran, and he got problems because he been over in Desert Storm, so that the military takes care of him. They gave it to him, and he caught Bell's palsy.
That's what I heard. People are, yeah. A lot of people with the Bell's palsy. Yeah.
I'm good on that. I'm straight.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah. They said they were asking me questions if I drank a beer without washing the top, and it could be from my dog and this and that. I'm like, nah, bro. They gave you a shot, man.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the part that worries me about America and this whole vaccine thing. And my heart goes out to all of the first responders and you as a teacher because I consider y'all first responders. My wife is a teacher, so once they start pushing that idea of vaccines, and I'm just hoping that they literally allow this to be tested like it's supposed to before they really start pushing it out. But
yep.
If you can hold out, Tori, hold out as long as you can. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just like they're in a rush to push the students back. But what's gonna happen? They're gonna go back, and then someone's gonna catch it, and then they're gonna shut it back down again. Yeah, everybody needs to calm down a little bit.
Now, did your school get hit like that? Because I was hearing stories about like they'll get it under control, and then like you say, one kid will go in, and then 20 kids come down with it, 4 teachers, and then the whole cycle starts all over again. Were you going through that type of stuff as a teacher?
No. California hasn't been open. The only schools that I know that are open are in Orange County. And if you've been following California, Orange County, they do what they want to do. The rest of the state will be shut down, and you could go to Orange County and be at the beach or be walking around no mask, and nobody will say anything to you. Like they've been on their own wave the whole time. And I do have a friend that he teaches in Orange County, and even when the stay-at-home order got put back into place, they were still teaching. I don't know how because everybody's supposed to be at home. But Orange County really they're doing what they want to do.
I got you. That's the red part of California. Sound like
it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I ain't gonna keep you, and we want to end it on a good note. So we let you preview the frat house site itself, just to see what it looks like, the functionality of it. What you think? Being a sister in an organization.
No, it's definitely cool. Definitely cool. I'm not sure what the viewers know about it so far. But I like all the different aspects. I like how it's kind of like a business and like a social thing together. I like that. I feel like that's definitely something that D9 orgs can benefit from. I would, yeah, and I know you guys talk about eventually expanding it to other orgs and maybe creating like a whole D9 one. I think that's definitely a good idea. Hopefully,
So,
AK will get on board. I know we're probably gonna be one of the last. I'm not even going to lie. We're probably gonna be the last one to hop on board with that. But yeah,
we definitely trying to springboard iota phi theta, in technology wise into the future. Because, I mean, if anything, this pandemic showed that there is a lot of jobs and a lot of business can be taken care of from home. And
Hmm.
if you have a good network, a good infrastructure, you can build on that and really be successful at it. And eventually it's going to be more and more of us doing things like this and making things possible for the black community. And it's coming because we still ain't talked about the wireless applications. We internet needs to be available to everybody. Doesn't matter demographic or where you come from, but those are other things that we also working on.
Yeah.
Hey, any final questions, man? We're gonna wrap this up.
Hey, I still want to ask about this Fort Valley joint. I got to know. So for all y'all that don't know, all right, allegedly, there was a chapter of AKAs out here in Fort Valley that got caught soliciting, let's just say, with favors, right, for businesses to be a part of their organization. They got caught, and I want to know from Tori, has she heard anything about this, and what happened to that chapter?
Okay, so it wasn't as far as I know. I'm pretty sure everybody who was involved, like the ringleaders, went to jail. Um, and there were a few, I believe, administrators at the school, and then other
Faculty.
in the community. And I guess what was happening was, there were favors or whatever to try to get money to pay to join. Like they weren't members at the time, but that's what they were trying to do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were trying to get on. You know what I mean? They were trying to get on.
So I don't think that the chapter is in trouble or anything like that. I think it's like the community members and like the ringleaders behind it are the ones they're all in jail. Like you can look up their mugshot. No, you really can. You really can. I mean that's all I'm gonna say. I definitely think they were probably taking advantage of. I can imagine being in that situation. Like it costs money. Like everybody don't have money.
Yeah.
And some people made, the wrong decisions, people in their ear, and shit is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But you
From
can
what I understand, go ahead.
I was gonna say you could I'm all those people is in jail. You could really look up their mugshot.
I bet.
We might put up one.
Fort Valley has had a reputation since I've known about it, since I come out here. I've never been there, but when I was state director, I was supposed to go up there and check them out. I never got a chance to, but yeah, from what I understand, Fort Valley itself is pretty hardcore when it comes to Greek life and just the people around it. You know what I mean?
No, that's real. No. My brother went to Fort Valley. He's an Alpha, and he was telling me some stories, and I was like, I was doing it like that. It was like, yeah, man, it was going down out there. I ain't even gonna put him out there like that, but it was.
That's why I'm laughing, because the stories I've heard about that place. So when they hit the news out here, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that didn't hit the news in California, but it was like, oh, it did, like the regular news.
Oh, I don't know about the news. Maybe, okay, never mind. Not you're probably right. The Greek.
It hit the news.
Yeah,
I'm talking like Channel 5.
Yeah, like live at 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like it was, and when you heard it, it was like they was doing what?
What? Hell nah. What?
Nah, they
and
lying.
They said Fort Valley. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, that probably went down. That probably went down.
Yeah.
Quick question: how much does it cost to be an AKA these days?
I can't even disclose that information. Every chapter is different, so it really doesn't.
Gotcha. Understood.
Sound like somebody else I know.
It's definitely. Yeah. I've heard that AKA is probably the most expensive.
Yeah, gotta be.
I ain't touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Y'all got a nice building though.
For real, y'all got a nice building. I like y'all building. It's nice. Real nice. Real nice. So gotta pay them bills. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, y'all do what y'all gotta do. Y'all been here, you know what I mean? Y'all are the first, so you gotta pay your dues. And that's I mean, if y'all doing what y'all supposed to do, ain't nothing wrong with that. So yeah.
Any shout outs or anything, anybody you want to say what's up to? You'll get a copy of it. You can't get on the frat house, but we'll shoot you a copy of it.
Who do I want to shout out? Shout out my chapter, Kappa Theta. Let's see. Who else I want to shout out? I don't know. I guess I'll shout out all of my yard. Y'all know who you are. I'm pretty sure only the IOTAs are gonna see this for right now, right?
Right. Whoever you want to share it to.
Yeah, whoever you want to share it to. Yeah.
Let's see, Johara. I know you're on there. Chuck's probably on there too. Montreal. Let me not name people because then they're gonna get mad and I'm gonna get
This has been another episode of the Frat House. This is OZ, aka Orlando. Bringing it back to you one time. Again, thank you to Tori Mills, just for everything that you've been able to devote to us today, being able to get on this show and tell us how you feel. We thank you. We thank you for your service that you've been providing. On or off the court of being an AKA. Doing what you do as being a teacher, and no one can replace y'all. So we definitely appreciate y'all. Again, it's the Frat House, OZ, Drew. Check us out, Frat House 555, www.thefrathouse555.com. If you want to be on the show, just hit us up at contact us at thefrathouse555.com. We do interviews like this all the time. And we're going to be doing this all year long. And man, 2021 is going to be a great year. We claiming it, no more of this nonsense that we've gone through with 2020. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the bros. Shout out to the AKAs, to the rest of the D9. Love y'all, and we out.
Yeah. All right.